Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see what I got for you right now. If you're into these 70s lanyards that they were super attractive, but at the same time, not many of us would like to own one of these, especially with those gas prices nowadays or petrol prices nowadays. And not only that, it's just some of them are just bigger than your normal one bedroom apartment. You can fit more stuff in these cars than you can in the trunk than you can fit in your probably your shed where you keep your items for the yard. So this is not the car for everyone, but if you are into these big luxury sports cars, then it's the right car for you. Well, let me give you the proper presentation. This is a 143 scale Ford Thunderbird. Now, this is a really attractive car. I love the two-tone combination. I think the roof was supposed to be like a cloth type of, like a vinyl cover. That was very common back in the 70s and early 80s with some of these cars, which nowadays is like a pain in the neck, to say the least, because a lot of them start peeling or they stain. So they're not, but back in the days, it was what made those cars fashionable. Now, this is the seventh generation of the Ford Thunderbird, and one thing it achieved that no other Ford Thunderbird of other generations did, this was actually the best selling years for Thunderbird. So this model was the one that sold the best. It says here, I'm going to read this real quick. The square sharpened image was popular, and this generation became the best selling in the history of the Ford Thunderbird. It helped also by dropping the price in 1976. And in 1977, it sold over 318,000 for Thunderbirds. And in 1978, it sold 352,000 models. These were the best single years in the Ford Thunderbird's history. And then 1979, it dropped a little bit, but still very good numbers, 295,000 models. Remember, this model only ran from 1977 till 1979. I think if Ford noticed that they were doing so well, I would have probably kept it a few more years. The model, it was not a bad looking car. I love those front headlights that they flip, especially in these cars that were so glamorous. Not so much in the sports cars like the Miata. They already not, but these ones that had like a covered, the blend, I don't know, it's just different. It gave it more like a regal type of look. But at the end of the day, these motorized headlights, they were a pain in the neck also, because if they broke and you couldn't flip them up, you wouldn't be able to drive this car at nighttime because you didn't have no headlights. So those are the big problems. So these things, that's what managed to none of the car manufacturers still making them because of that reason. All right, this car only came as a two-door coupe, as we know before. Now let's talk about engines. Let's give you some proper information on this car. Engines. Let's see. We had all of these were V8s, eight cylinders. Remember, back in those days, still the eight cylinders were the car to have. You had a 4.9 liter, a 5.8 liter, and the big boy was the 6.6 liter V8 engine. Okay, those were big, big monster cars. Big monster cars. All right, everyone. By the way, before I forget, there's a resin model made by Neo. If you haven't noticed, Neo makes one of the best qualities when it comes to resin. They hold on the best. They don't peel off like the windows start opening, like start ungluing the window or the side strips, like like the side molding and all these things. These cars hold the best, in my opinion. That's why Neo is one of the most expensive when it comes to those resin models. All right, everyone. I'm gonna let this beautiful car go around a few times, and I'll be right back. All right, everyone. This is a car that I love to admire because it has a lot of styling in it. Starting with those side windows, the rear seat windows. It may not be the best for view because that little window in between the bigger window in the back and the front, it's it's just more of the decoration. If you feel that you are cramped in a airplane seat with that little window looking outside, this window is actually smaller than that. So it's more of a decoration than anything. The bigger window in the rear seat is the last one, and that's already too far back. That is not gonna, it's not by your head, it's more already by the rear, by this where the speakers usually are in a car. So that already is not really helpful to look outside. So if you are a little claustrophobic in the rear seats of the two-door coupes, this is not the proper car for you to ride in the back seat because that little window will feel you even more claustrophobic. But looks wise, it really makes a statement. And then I love the tail lights in this car. The tail lights are bigger than 90% of other cars that I've seen on the road. They're huge, as you can see. It covers almost the whole rear end, the left from the right. There is a separation in between. It's not, they're not all connected. There's still quite a big separation, but still there are big tail lights to make sure that people can see you from far behind you. All right, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. Don't forget to give me a beautiful thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below what you guys think about this nice Ford from the 70s. Do you like them? Did you like those white wheels as typical fancy cars have? Were you fond of these lanyards? The ones that you felt like you own half of the street when you took over half of the street when you're parking your car. I know some folks out there they're not really fond of these big cars, and then there's the opposite. There are people that really love these large and in charge type of cars. All right, let me know in the comments below where you guys are from and what scale you guys collect. And don't forget to click on subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button. Take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.